You're tuning in to Gone.net.
Hello and welcome to Gone.net. You might not know it, but this is another welcome and hello. Take two.
I don't know what happened, man, but this stuff
computers.
sometimes. Yeah, man, I did the same damn thing, and this time it's streaming. So,
well, hey, I mean, at least we didn't go the whole hour, I guess, not realizing it, or however long.
We can repeat what we just talked about.
We can repeat it much more succinctly, probably. Basically, Fable 5, extra expensive, tokens much money.
Yeah.
Little value perceived, or less value. Yeah,
I would agree. That's so I've been using it. John has infinite free tokens with Microsoft for GitHub Copilot.
Well, I also I tried to use it, like I said, the first time around, and it right away kicked me out. It's like, no, I'm switching to Opus because you're doing something with security, and I'm not going to let you do that. So I think they're like super safeguarded around the whole. This was meant for security, and other companies have had access to that part of it like privately. But now that it's public, like don't use it on finding security issues, right? So it like right away, it was like I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just trying to implement some of the Matter protocol, like the certificate chain stuff, and it's like, no, I can't do that. I'm like, well, okay.
Helpful. I've used it a couple times. Like I basically usually have Opus running. 3 or 4 agents at a time, just going. Sometimes if I give it a significant enough task, because I'm usually pretty good at siloing the stuff, I'll burn through my time slice, right? And then it'll keep me out for like 2 or 3 hours. So I'm on a max plan, but it kicks me out. So I switched to Fable when it came out, the day it came out, and it was done in an hour. Like it hadn't finished the work, but it had burned my time slice in that hour.
Yeah.
And it didn't really do much more than Opus did. It's a bit smarter. It knew it's like, hey, I'm going to test this stuff, which by the way, Opus is doing now too. It's just, it knows maybe I should test my stuff.
Yeah. I usually, I guess I build that into my prompts almost all the time now, where I'm like, I want, you're going to implement this, but I also need you to like write just a ton of tests against it, right?
But it doesn't mean it's going to run them. Or if it's an app, it doesn't mean it's going to turn on the app and be like, oh, yeah, that looks right.
No, you have to articulate kind of how you want that done. And I usually figure out when I'm thinking about like, what's the thing it's doing? How could I do an integration test or whatever, the thing I want to try and do is, and then it'll put it together.
So I was writing a Mac OS app, like AppKit, and MAUI DevFlow doesn't really work well with it yet because it's kind of a test platform. So it's like, I don't know what's going on here. And it just went off and started taking screenshots on its own. And it was like, oh, I see the problem. So it was smart in the fact that it was like, I can't see this path, so I'm going to go this one that I know about. And it went and fixed itself. It had some minor stuff it had to fix. And
that side note, that bugs me because I've got like, I have some guardrails in the prompts, like the skill for DevFlow, where I'm like, don't use, because sometimes it'll get stuck and be like, I'm going to use OSA script and I'm going to steal the focus of the window that I want to capture, and then like it automates like the mouse and stuff. But I'm like, if you're developing, that is super annoying. If you're like, to all of a sudden like, why'd my mouse jump over here? And then you click something else, and then by the time it takes the screenshot, after it focused the window, it's like that didn't work either. You're like, no, not right at all. You're fighting me. But actually, that reminds me, if you get the latest DevFlow that's out, this latest MAUI CLI, and then you have it like DevFlow update the skills or whatever, there is now also a skill in there that will, I think it got merged, I think it's released, that you can say, hey, like you had some trouble with this session, can you like go analyze it and see if there's stuff we should submit to MAUI DevFlow? So it'll help like go look back through the session and then learn, like be like, oh yeah, I encountered this and here's how I worked around it. Here's how I would, and then it'll like summarize like how I file a bug essentially.
Okay. Well,
So if you hit problems with DevFlow and you're able just to kind of, I don't think you have to even be specific to say to use the skill, but just be like, hey, like go look, review our session and see if we should, let DevFlow know about any of the problems we hit, that kind of thing.
So Fable was pretty good at doing its stuff. It didn't need, I don't know how it did it, but it didn't need to take control of my mouse.
Yeah.
It was able to take screenshots of that specific app, read some logs.
Yeah.
So it got its stuff. It fixed my problem. There we go. Got an app. But like I said, for the agent stuff I was running, it was at least 2 times the cost, probably more.
Yeah.
So trade-off, I didn't see it. I don't find the model worth it because it wasn't giving me significantly better results. It was giving me the same results, same problems, same stuff.
And we said the first take around too. Like, I think one of the things I've seen advertised is that Fable is supposed to be good at like longer running, like deeper sessions, and then it's like that's great, but if it burns the credits in an hour, you don't get that anyway, right? So what's the point?
But you were also saying how, you did it on a task that you weren't too sure about, burned about $30.
So that wasn't Fable. That was just
fair.
Different model. That was GPT-5 like high or something, or extra high reason.
So, the thing is from a business perspective, it could make sense, right? So instead of you churning for a week and having to look up other stuff, it provided extra, ideas, etc. The value's there.
Yeah.
The problem is that they kind of market AI as that it'll be available to everybody. Everybody will be able to make their own software. Software will cost you nothing, except it does, right? Like it's not getting cheaper. It's getting more expensive because it's got to dig that much harder.
And I think like the pricing changes that we're seeing in like Copilot, like that was the one, like it was through my work stuff for work stuff. And I said the first time around, like, $30 in this case, like you said, it was worth it from a business perspective. But like even my personal Claude plan, okay, so I'm paying 140 Canadian, right? $99 a month or whatever. And I use the heck out of it. And I am making some like bespoke solutions to my own problems, but I don't know that $140 is a true representation of what the actual cost is. Like judging by the $30 that I spent in credits on the work task that I did, like there's no way that the amount of usage I'm putting through my Claude plan is the same of cost.
Right.
Like, it just isn't.
Well, they're trying to stick you, right? So
yeah, you want to get hooked. You want to be like, well, okay, now I'm gonna have to move up to the $200 plan, but it's still worth it. And like that creep happens to the point where you're finally like, is the car payment worth it now that I'm so used to living in this world? And maybe it is. I don't know, but
again, their marketing is AI for everyone. Right?
Yeah, it's certainly not.
It's not going
everyone.
to be that.
No.
And the thing they like to say is, hey, it's just because we don't have enough data centers right now. So think about this for a second. We're going to put in data centers, and it's generally us peons that pay for all the electricity, and they use our infinite amount of taxes that we pay to pay for these data centers and power, right? So we end up paying for it. And then let's face it, once they have all the data centers, it's not going to get cheaper. They always say that. That's capitalism's gotcha, right? Yeah. Once we have these things, it'll get cheaper. I mean, even though you paid to get those things, and then AI still didn't get cheaper.
I think it will over time to an extent, but that's going to be in different. Well, it's in different, I think, shapes than maybe you're thinking too. Like because of the price of this too, people are starting to look back again at like, well, what about running local models again, right? Like, yes, there's an upfront cost, but if I pay $5,000, $10,000 for a beefy system that can run some massive models, they're still nowhere near the frontier models in the cloud. Like if you look at like how many parameters like some of those models are, they're trillions, right? Like they're huge things. You have no hope of running them locally unless you want to pay like $500,000 for hardware. So the difference is maybe you could do some stuff locally, but you're not going to have the same access to those frontier models. And that frontier will keep moving forward, right? Like Fable 5 is the next iteration that maybe we're not seeing the same jumps in productivity gains, but there is some level of maybe it's a bit better.
Or
and
it's
happening.
just marketing.
Well,
we don't know.
It could be. I mean,
could be.
I would imagine the model is actually, somewhat different and distilled, and maybe it is targeted for those longer running sessions and that kind of stuff. But it does seem like, we're still seeing some incremental improvements on a lot of things. Like, is it the same, your experience? Maybe not. I have to believe, like, all of the different benchmarks that are out there, like, they have to have some meaning of representation of improvement. If it's not real world, okay, but it's got to be moving the needle a bit.
John is such an optimist. I love it.
I
don't buy shit from me. Anyhow, I mean, yes, you're probably right. You're the level-headed one. I'm the firehead here. So, right now, the value to it, I didn't see enough between Opus and Fable. Yeah. So I'm on Opus. I still produced all the stuff I need. It's working great.
I found that my Claude plan, like there was a while where they tuned something weirdly and I hit limits really fast and I switched to like the higher max plan. I've gone back down this month and I'm not hitting limits and I'm not using it maybe as heavily as you, but I still use it a fair bit. Like I'm happy with it. The value for me right now, I'm like, this is okay. I don't think
it's not going down every 5 minutes anymore.
Well, yeah, I've had more issues in the last couple of days with like not long ones, but like it'll be like, oh, there's this request failed. We're gonna try again in a minute, and I'm like,
If you start getting Claude failures, you know when and why it happened. It happened right here because John pointed it out.
Well, I even had it last night at one point. It's like you are rate limited. But it said specifically, this isn't your usage limit. You're being rate limited, which was weird.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
But. All right. So the last couple episodes, we've been debating how we wanted to build this. Well, it's kind of in two parts. So again, John made Sherpa. Sherpa's awesome. If you aren't using it, it is pretty much the best mobile tool.
I'm going to add .NET up support to Sherpa now too. You know how the SDK management tool,
the one that I've been bugging you forever, and now you're not, and now you're going to do it.
Well, no, because the tool is like available-ish now. So
so you're going to put it in.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to use the tool. That's what I've been waiting for. Then to add Sherpa support for updating and managing your SDKs.
Bugging you that forever.
Well, I'm just waiting on the thing to come out.
Okay, so you could have just done it anyhow. But yeah, okay, fine. No. All right. So Sherpa's fantastic. Yeah. It solves world peace for mobile development.
I don't even think that's an overstatement.
It has MAUI intrinsics. It is basically for MAUI, but we're building a CLI tool that's pretty much going to be for, MAUI included. Yes, there's one part that will be MAUI specific for now, or .NET specific for now, but the two other parts we think will apply to any like Apple, Google, if Windows, once we get it in there, etc.
Well, so, did you see? I had a PR forever ago that I was gonna add a version, a variant, a build variant that just didn't have the MAUI, the .NET stuff in it. I don't know how much value that actually is, but I'm like, if somebody's not using this simply because it has that stuff in it or in the name, maybe it's helpful.
Whatever, right? Like, so what we've been talking about, so we had this wild idea a couple weeks ago. John bid on it and was pretty gung-ho on it. Yeah, one of the big things that happens right now is CI. We're constantly fighting it. There's updates, workloads. John can't say it, but I can. Workloads are death. They are death.
There's still a challenge.
Giant F to workloads. So they move, then you got to move Xcode, then you got to update your build scripts, deploy them. It could happen in the middle of the day. Then you're like, well, you should have pinned your workloads, which that's not easy because you need to figure out the version. There's a lot involved, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And then it takes forever to install .NET, right? And the workloads in your CI. Yes, there's stupid things you can do there, caching, all that junk, right? Mm-hmm. But you still have to go through it, test it, and then find out after 10 minutes, hey, your build failed because you had something wrong. Mm-hmm. So what we've been talking about is we've got this. John has publishing profiles right now built into Sherpa. Now they're fantastic because you put all your secrets together, you put all your provisioning profiles and your certificates together, and it sends them to GitHub. But you're still going through that CI process with a YAML script, and then hoping to God that everything works. And so it's good at pushing the configuration, but it's the builds and everything from there that generally fails us. And then we can't test it locally, right? Like you don't end up with the same as you would in the cloud versus what you have locally. Long-winded, what we've been talking about is building a CLI tool that can take a bundle of encrypted mud
stuff. Yeah.
Stuff.
I like mud.
Set it up. So first phase is set it up. Get out, unencrypt this thing, right? Pull out any Apple, like any of the configuration we have for provisioning profiles, certs, Android key stores, Windows, whatever gobbledygook it needs. Shove it in the box, right? So your setup is consistent, right? No matter what, you have this thing that can deploy, okay? That can set up your CI part. Phase 2 or part 2 was build. Now that's where we're focusing on .NET because, it's MAUI Sherpa and that will do and we still got some things to work out there, but it will build your application and pump out an IPA or an APK or an AAB or whatever. And then last but not least, and this is where it can go back into native if you want, it can do the deploy, which means it'll have your test flight keys, your Google channels, your all that stuff. So set up, build, deploy. That's what we've been talking about. And it'll be a CLI tool that's, yes, it's called Sherpa, but it's kind of this siloed thing. And then phase 2 to all of that is to have Sherpa actually build this bundle thing we've been talking about. So over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to share my screen now, and then John's going to complain about whether this is too small or too big or whatever. Okay, this is too small. I know. I'm getting there. Hang on. Yes. So, is it big enough for you now? Can you roll dice?
A little bit more.
Okay. Okay. This has got to be good enough. One more? One more. Jesus. All right.
There we go.
So we've got the Sherpa CLI. We went through all the stuff. Like, we're going to call it a Sherpa bundle or whatever. We have the idea of environment.
We got to think platform. No, sorry. This is really important. Sherpa bundle, not the name. It has to be something more mountaineering named. We'll think of it. We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got to be in the theme. It's got to be like your pack or something like that. Pack isn't enough. Isn't right either. We'll get there.
Sherpa pack.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with this. Yeah. John got to get on my case because he's awful at naming stuff.
Yeah.
And I put out something that was awfully named, and he responded. I was like, oh yeah, my foot's going in my mouth for once. So, okay, I see what you're challenging. I get it.
It's all in the spirit of the fun, stuff. So we'll get there.
Yeah, I had a GitHub mon that mon, and John has the runner of
runner is the best.
It's awful. And by the way, John didn't name Sherpa.
No, I didn't. I like the name.
I'm going to take credit for that. I don't take credit for the idea, but the name.
The name is good. I like it. Yeah. It's really enabled a fun, because like if you look at the release notes still too, they're all like, mountain themed.
If John had named it, it would be called the Maui Util.
yeah, probably Maui and mobile thing. Maybe we can work like Yeti somehow into the package name, because it's like, it's a monster of all the stuff. Anyway,
so here we've got this. We said, we want to build a single platform. If we exclude it builds them all. We can do a step if we want to do the build deploy, the setup, build, deploy. You can decide what happens here.
Yeah.
The project path, the variables, which we'll talk about in a second, the replace tokens, which builds on variables, which we'll talk about in a second. And then finally, if you've got any custom MS build stuff, we can take care of that for you too. So let's see what we have here. So we built this thing. replace tokens is kind of a thing that goes through our script. So it goes through all of these variables. And so if we had like a version, it'll go find like the $, squiggly braces, version and replace it. Right. So like this, so it does a substitution. We've got, again, the MS build properties, which that just kind of gets passed.
I thought we were going to find a different way to do that, but anyway.
No, that was what you came up with. And we called it replace tokens.
Yeah, yeah.
And variables are like just what we pass, like our config variables, whatever they may be. And then they're actually going to parse your CS proj, your C# files, your app settings, JSON, whatever. They're going to go in and put these variables in just like we do today. A lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the stuff we've been working on. And then we've got this idea of, here's our Android, you can deploy multiple key stores, the build properties, here's our MS build properties. So app ID, if you want to control it, application version. Actually, this was a good idea because we were talking how you wouldn't want to hard code this. And then John was like, well, if we can pass this in the CLI, it's fantastic. Right.
Yep.
So we've got all that. Same with iOS certificates. It puts it in a base 64, Mac, Windows, etc. So we have, it keeps getting back on App Center, eh? It keeps going back to this. I don't know how this thing got in there. Yeah, you can go because App Center is very much dead. So anyhow, we have this nice, cool looking JSON file. I don't know that it's JSON that we're going to get in the end. I think we were talking about, because we need this encrypted, right? This ball of mud needs to be encrypted.
Yeah, it'll be some base 64 string or whatever, ultimately, I think.
And whether or not we turn this into
format,
right,
I guess.
We were talking about maybe doing like a SQLite ciphered database.
Yeah.
And shipping that. Who knows?
I guess so one thing we probably will need to figure out is like for GitHub Actions and stuff, like what's the max length of a secret? We might run into challenges there.
That's a good point.
Because no matter what this is, it all has to end. Like the idea is that this ends up as one value you put in plus the passcode for it or whatever, right?
Well, why don't we get this going? So first of all, is my screen... Is this huge enough for you today, John?
A couple more. Still?
There
you go. That's
okay.
Fun. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna make this bigger so we can actually see it. Yeah, I like this because it allows me to know what's going on. Okay. So first things first, how large, or what is the largest size? What is the largest size that GitHub Action variables, secrets,
yeah.
And let's just do Azure DevOps for now.
Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah, because I think that might give us some problems, like just right off the bat, which would suck.
Yeah, and I don't know that we would ever... We could commit these files.
Yeah.
We could.
Want to do that, though.
48 kilobytes. That's...
it's
not great.
But maybe if we like really trim down... Yeah, that's not. I don't think that's gonna fly. I think that's gonna be a problem.
Does not publish an explicit size limit. All right.
Oh, but they're saying maybe 25 only for. Ooh. Yeah.
You know what though? That's I don't.
It's not
honestly, I don't think so. Because your key stores.
Well, how much? Yeah, let's see
1 or 2 kilobyte.
Big. So let's start doing the math. Like maybe have Claude check. Like what would the base 60? I guess. It doesn't have to be base 64 until the end, right?
Specs for our new CLI.
So what is let's just do it this way.
We plan to pack inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it might just be able to kind of think about that.
Take a rough guess at how big this file could end up being in base 64.
So what I'm looking at first, and because we can also compress it, and then
we can,
right? So if I look at a P12 file, okay, that's not bad. A P12 file is like 3 kilobytes from Google, Apple.
Yep. Mind you, it's going to be base 64, so add 30% just to be safe.
No. But this is what I'm saying. That we don't have to base 64 it in the bundle. that we create, right? We could store everything in a binary format and then base 64 the end result.
Sure. So mine just came back. So it lean, one platform, 15 to 30 kilobytes, two platforms, 80 to 130. Heavy, like widget extension targets, for
that's
profile.
Gonna blow things right out of the water.
So even encrypted
but look
or
at,
even
like,
compressed.
So look at I think it might be not thinking things as optimally as possible, because look at what it's suggesting size wise for the profile insert. Although no, it is fine. The profile itself is like 16 kilobytes. Those provisioning, but we don't have to pull that.
We don't have to pull
those
that.
profiles. Don't go in there.
We could pull it from App
the
Store
API.
If we did it that way, though, because again, we're talking that
we were talking like point in time, like immutable state.
Yeah. So there is the option, like, because secrets, I don't think. What about
if you compress down the provisioning profile? It's like 10 kilobytes.
Yeah, but we're still up there. We're
still way up there already. Even just with one profile, we're up there.
What's the largest size of an Azure secret store value?
Well, they were just saying like 25.
No, this is Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's bigger than that.
It's probably bigger than that, but it still sucks.
So, again, one of the options here is that this is going to be an encrypted thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in a corporate environment, does this matter as much?
Yeah.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, it does, arguably more. So we need a way to not have to store the actual mud, but to get the mud. So, I mean, back to your idea of committing these things, like that's possible. Although, like, if you got like an open source project, like I don't want to do that. Is there any other like mechanisms that these build systems provide?
I mean, it could also just be a secure like FTP type thing, but then they've got all this extra setup. So
yeah,
I know that you can connect to stuff like Dropbox. Again, extra setup, but let's see what it suggests, because this is we've got it working as
somehow.
This is what's great about AI, because it's like a search engine.
Yeah.
It's actually going out.
Externalize the bundle. Yes.
Azure Blobs. What?
Yeah.
Why didn't we go there?
Well, I just, yes, like fine. It's just, I hate, it's kind of like the problem we were trying to remove with this was like connecting up to different stuff to have to pull it down. It's just more failure points. It's more variables. It's more, things to deal with. It's fine.
I think no matter what, we want this thing, right?
Yeah, I think we want this
secure files. I forgot all about that. It will hold that.
Oh yeah, DevOps has that.
DevOps has that.
That's right.
Skeleton. So the point is, we've got some options here.
Yeah.
So let's assume that this is going to happen.
What did it say about Go back. It was saying something about GitHub Actions.
Externalize the bundle, fetch it via OIDC.
Oh, they're just saying
Azure Blob.
So right? I think this now has to shift into, you have options for how you can get that mud ball onto the system, and then the secret of the decryption token or whatever can be in GitHub's action secrets if you want.
So we know we have to build something for the Sherpa UI, right? The Sherpa UI is going to assemble this bundle.
Yep.
Just like it does a publishing profile, except it's going to put it all into one big package.
Yep.
Then we're going to stick a password on it, because you still need that, right? It's going to take all this ball, stick a password on it, and then we can still generate a YAML script, because they're going to be simple, right? We said triggers. Yeah. We were going to deal with maybe triggers, and we didn't even talk about installing .NET. We were kind of saying we'll infer it, but the script could be checkout.
Well, so
and run, right? So we could do this for Azure, we could do this for GitHub, etc. And then when the user says great, we could actually push that script right to your repo, and the single secret password, and whatever we want to do with this blob, right? So whether we ship it to Azure Blob Storage for GitHub,
Yeah.
and then we put another script in there, or maybe we build the Azure Blob Storage into.
It could be in Sherpa. I mean, like as another like provider that, you know, we can.
It just knows how to go and get it.
Yeah.
And then so we could put that in the box.
Yep.
And then the last thing is to go and get, if it's an Azure DevOps, it knows to use secure files.
Yeah. So let's, I think that then, yeah, I like that idea. I think we shift then to, there's one more kind of mechanism in the Sherpa CLI, which is like put and fetch mud balls essentially. Right. And we allow different providers, just like I do for like the secret storage, right? There, we have another interface that's like the iMud, not poop provider.
Oh, I thought you were ignoring me, but I was. We could call it a dot poop. How awesome would that be? It would stick in more ways than one.
No.
Oh, come on, dude. That's an awesome name.
No, because let me tell you.
My poop.
No. Let me tell you a story. And Sherpa might already be a problem. Okay. We have all of these like governance kind of rules and policy checks and stuff like that in our build systems, right? One of the ones over the years has been called polycheck. It's like checking for like stuff in code, like we don't want like curse words in code. We don't want
that's fair.
Bad things that you could say in code. We don't want any, hint of racism or any bad things. And so
some of that makes sense, but you've seen some of my but I put in code comments.
No, but the check is like fairly dumb in that it's like, if it's going to see the word poop, it's going to call it out as a policy violation. It calls like stuff out that you wouldn't think, like there's like certain, like even countries that no longer exist as a name. Like there might be like sample data. I think we hit this from like Skia Upstream. They have like tests that have like a list of names of countries, and like one of them doesn't exist anymore, and it's like you shouldn't use that country now. So it's, which is fine. I'm not arguing. Like I'm happy enough to try and do nice things in our code. That's not the problem. I'm just saying if you use poop, it's gonna be a problem somewhere. It's gonna cause somebody grief.
So fine, we won't call it a poop, but just it came to mind, and I thought it was a great name. We'll come back to it. Yeah. John owns the repo, so he doesn't really need to worry about it too much right now.
No, but like somebody else might, if there's like some mention of that file extension, somebody's going to have a problem with it.
Okay, fine. I'm going to have this now write without the encryption. Build our CLI, build our Sherpa CLI. Mm-hmm. Do know that this file will be an encrypted binary in the future. But for now, we're just going to deal with raw JSON.
Yeah, for now, let's assume the file will get onto your CI build somehow. And we can fill in the story of how that is later.
So this is going to go, I'm going to let this burn in the background. I don't care. It's going to write us a version 1, and then I'm going to have it write some unit tests.
Yeah.
While that's happening, it is time to get Sherpa going, because we need to figure this out. Now, John is here to, he doesn't like to type and talk at the same time.
No.
I don't know. So he likes to get his cowboy boots on and nag me. He's like, no, don't type that. No, puts this. Oh, what about this now? So he's going to micromanage me now.
Yeah.
Using lots of management terms into building this.
Is if we want to, if we want to build on the impact of others. Sorry, I'm swatting a fly away. If we want to look at our circles of impact and make sure that we're building on the impact of others and standing on the shoulders of giants, do we want to use the pull? I have a pull request first of all that adds. Remember that like centralized like the local vault and everything.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that's in, because that will impact how we build this feature, because there's like folders and stuff now. All right, it's not merged yet, but you can go like brand, make your thing off of that branch, which is The branch name is reth/secrets-architecture.
Okay, so I will pull that in a second. In the meantime, I think we should do this as a separate tool just for now.
Yeah,
and we can burn it. It's AI is pretty good at saying like put these two things together.
Oh yeah,
after so
yeah, that's fine.
Framework and tractable.
Sometimes you have to think about what it's like suggesting a lot.
Model plus loader, the merge substitution engine, CLI surface, step orchestration. No. Deploy providers. Okay, well, let's get in this. Yeah. Inference stubbed. Verifiable now. Full end to end now. Why? Yeah, see, it's trying to go the long run.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, go. Reuse MAUI Sherpa core.
So one thing I do want to add into this prompt is, so for the deploy stuff, I think it's going to do stuff stupidly. So what I'm going to want to shape this as, and I was confirming while we were talking earlier that this is possible because I did this back in the day when I wrote the first version of the VS Code MAUI extension. Did you know that you can specify a MS Build property, a bunch of different ones? There's one called custom before Microsoft Common Props. There's one called custom after Microsoft Common Targets. And you can pass in your own .props and .targets files that get included as part of the build dynamically.
Interesting.
Do you know where I'm going with this yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So what I would like to do is have us, the trick is going to be, I guess we would have to put these somewhere in a temp file when we run. I want is that worth it for phase 1 or should we start with UI? No, so we should start with UI, I guess. But like, because you have it going on a CLI tool right now, right?
Yeah. We'll put it all in one branch.
This is going to be more affecting the CLI tool than the UI, which is why I say we should and I guess we can do it after. I'm getting at is what's going to happen is the CLI, when it's going to try and do the whole, like, I'm going to now build the .NET stuff, and now I'm going to try and deploy the things to test flight. I'm curious how it's going to think about finding out where the files are that it built to deploy. Because what I ultimately want to do, what we talked about before, is have a couple things. One, I want to be able in my GitHub Actions, if we have an action, I want to be able to get output variables from the step that ran.
Oh, yes.
To give me that, here's the location of the APK file that we built. Here's the IPA that we built. All the different things. I want everything. I want everything as variables. So I think, in case I want it.
I think the stuff that you're asking for will be easy additions to make after.
And it might be. And it'll have to rework some, I guess, of what it does potentially. And that's maybe okay. I just want to call it out in case it gets too far down the path and we're like, it's going to be a mess to try and put this in now. So
I don't think it will be. I think we've got enough focus in the specification we have that's going to get us. And like I said, leave the encryption alone. It's looking at the deploy step. So it's going to use the Sherpa core, which may or may not be a good idea because that's really based around the UI in a lot of ways. But there's stuff in there that we can make use of, like the test flight stuff. Yeah. So it's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's going to go.
Yeah.
It's got an iBundle loader, which is great.
Right. I hate how it always uses the term seam.
Sounds like a management term, John.
Sounds like I don't use it, so maybe that's why I don't like.
Oh, yeah, you don't use it yet.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got this thing now. Do we want to have? You got about 10 minutes left.
Yep.
I think we can have it. It's going to finish the CLI. I'm pretty sure in about 5 minutes, just based on my guess. Do we want to just give it a rough shot at the UI?
Yeah. So did you already have it check out?
I haven't
make
yet.
A branch from my branch.
I didn't yet. Because this is running, I don't run it in TreeView. I run it right on the branch.
Okay.
We can come back and bring that in. For now, why don't we just have it say we can build that back in as well?
Yeah, maybe it won't be so bad.
Do we want a YOLO here and just say, looking at our spec, and using kind of
Yeah.
we wanted to use kind of some of the thoughts from your current publishing profiles.
Yeah.
So we want to have like a new thing that also brings in the world of the publishing profiles.
Well, I don't know. So like,
Or do we want to do this fresh?
Well, do you have a copy of Sherpa that you can open right now that we can look at? Yeah.
I do. It's got all my secrets in there.
Left. Oh, I see. Can you put it off? Yeah, put it off screen and put it into demo mode, and then don't show whatever the other. Oh yeah, you use like the secrets and like the name of stuff,
so I could copy and paste them. You need we need to put it on the description as well, so it can hide all the secrets.
Yeah.
Or I'll just scroll it down. Yeah, it's got all my DSNs and stuff too.
Yeah. So like, I'm just looking at it locally here too. Like I'm trying to decide if there's a reason that we need something actually separate from the published profile.
My thinking was using published profiles as our starting point.
Yeah.
We want, or even
we can expand.
Technically, we could just say publishing profile. The publish can now be deliver ball of mud.
Exactly. Yeah. And then if we need to add more features to store in a profile, like, replace tokens and stuff like that, like we can just put that in the profile too. And if you have existing profiles and you don't want to use that, don't use it. It's fine.
Or existing publishing profiles UI. I want to add another button to each project. Will allow us to save, to build and save the spec, or save the bundle, the Sherpa bundle, which was what we're calling it for now. We will definitely have to add additional setup. Will we? Maybe we won't. For specific keys such as the Apple API keys.
What do you?
Because we don't put. Well, we're going to have to know what the Apple API keys are, right?
Yeah, but that's part of.
It's not part of this. No.
Well,
the provisioning profile is the. Okay. Like you're usually putting it in your secrets and then you're naming it. So
I thought, okay.
I'm going to make it, we need more specifics here. So I'm going to give an example. Let's see where we get.
Yeah.
Propose something, ask any questions, and then be prepared to deliver. Okay, so this is gone. It's got our CLI cooking. It's going through the setup and build, the deploy providers. Okay, fantastic. So that's on its way. Now we have it's going to build out something. Interesting. There's already a Sherpa bundle project. Let me explain. Okay, yeah. Well, this is why we're building it in one.
Yeah, it's the same branch. It's probably going to get confused.
No, this is great. This is one of the things I like is if you can obviously do them in steps and it's probably better. But one of the things one of the things that I found is if you're going through, like some of the build stuff is going to be exploratory. I think we're going to have some gaps. And I think if it can see the full thing end to end, it can help us fill those gaps now, as opposed to having separated branches. Because you see this in teams all the time, right? I mean, you probably don't, because I have to deal with varying different teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So half the time, well, no, you do see this because I hear lots about it. But when you go across teams at Microsoft, or you go into different teams in kind of my consulting world, you see the disconnects, right? So they're all trying to work. Like you may have an API team, and then you may have like a front end team,
mm-hmm.
and all the time those two are like, it's like he said, she said. They're like married and divorced at the same time. So when I do things like this, I find it's really good because the two AIs can see what each other are doing because they're working in the same spot. They're going to fight a little bit, but they're going to come to an end solution.
And I'm curious too if Claude will get better. Like I know in GitHub you can start doing like sessions that know how to talk with other sessions too really well, and so you could have like you could have these two running, and you could have one more that's like the manager of the sessions, and be like, make sure they play nice, right? Like you're both working on similar areas. Make sure you work together. It might be able to recognize there's another
agent
session
working on this right now. Mm-hmm. So play nice. Is another agent working on the UI? So play nice. It usually figures the stuff out, and it knows. See, I'll be writing any code and avoid touching these files. Let me know what's currently in flight. There we go. Look it's figured it out. There's another agent actively building bundle.
Yeah.
No notion of environment name.
It's funny because this stuff, like early on, you used to have to like really think about how to
shared
orchestrate.
seam.
Oh God. Like you have to think about like how to have like conversations, and like, was it going to be a round robin chat, or is it going to be a, like an agent handoffs and stuff? Like this stuff just happens now. It's crazy.
Okay, so let's see. How should deploy API config work? App Store Connect issue ID be stored. Extend the publish profile.
Well, you need, right. That's what we were talking about, because you need those keys in there. And what's interesting? So we were talking about trying to save space and stuff. If you're gonna do publishing, you need the App Store Connect anyway.
Yes.
I still don't know if I want, like, I still like the idea of the ability to have an immutable thing, because if you go mess around in the dev portal with the profiles, although I guess it invalidates it at that point anyway. I'm just thinking, like, do we care about pulling them down as part of the build versus having them in the mud ball? But I still like the mud ball.
Inline base 64 assemble plus save only. Buttons gather material writes the Sherpa bundle file. Agent's job for now. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, we're not trying to kick off something in CI right away.
What do you want to use? All of it.
Yeah, duh. Come on.
All of it. Go.
Does it have your? Yeah, I guess. Does it know your spec?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's already figured it out. It knows what's running. It called it out. This guy's going. So we've got two pretty hot things now going. Mm-hmm. It's already look at it. Look at, we're already up to 10,000 tokens, and it's just started. It's going to be a fun one.
Let me check the build seams.
So I think now one of the things that I think we've been calling out anyways is this is why, like, a lot of people think as engineers, and I get it, God knows, John knows I've been stressed about it, is that they think we're not needed. The thing is that we are still needed, right? We become more architects and product managers. I'm still writing code, nowhere near as much. But I find that I'm making the surfaces, I'm coming up with the ideas, and then I'm taking all the Legos and putting them together, right? And I actually find that quite fulfilling, to be honest. I don't know about you, but it's like, it's not that I don't enjoy code. It's I think at the end of the day, I enjoy the solution more. And like I said, there's rules that when John knows this too, how violent am I with the AI when it puts a continue? Or like, I'm like, don't put that shit in my code. This is my code. You do the work I tell you. You put a continue in there again and you're fired, right? Like I say stuff like that. So I still have my little tidbits that I shouldn't have, but it's how I ensure quality. And again, we now become architects. We now become the idea people. And this guy can go and write the code. It's not to say we couldn't write the code.
No.
Some cases we can't, but it's very good at kind of learning. Like, I don't know about you, but it seems to learn my style.
Yeah.
I know John hates my style.
I mean, I almost like the reality is I don't have as much of a style anymore because I don't do as many things net new with code, right? Like I let it do the thing. And I will have some opinions of sometimes too, but no, this just still just enables, like, it's now. It used to be, I have all these ideas and I want to do them all and I can't. And now it's, I have all these ideas and I actually still feel like I can't do them all. But I can do a lot more of them than I used to be able to.
Well, the joke, the funny thing is that if you remember, John knows I'm not a UI guy, right? I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, okay. Screw you, man. I know where you're going with this. Anyhow, there was a control. I've been bugging him forever. I wanted table views. Table views are great for setting up just basic forms, right? Consistent look, consistent way to write it. I love the table view, and I get why it had to go away because the platforms were kind of getting rid of it, but people were still kind of doing the pattern. So I made a table view, and then there was some other control I also wanted, and I forget what it was. So I was like, of all the controls I've ever written, and I have a lot of them anyways, right? Like I had an image viewer, I had a pop-up, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up bringing them all together, and I used AI to actually go and build a control suite. And like, it is a suite now. Like, dude, it's a pretty full package. Yes, there's still some details that need to be polished. And I don't, God knows I might never hit a 1.0 at the rate I'm going because I just keep adding stuff. But it's like, you just keep coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
Building the surface and then saying, build it for me. Yes, I could build it, but I'll never be able to do all of the stuff that I've ever wanted to do.
There's no way.
And then the best part is I have this stuff, like I've been talking constantly about the chat, right? Because everybody's going to want to chat with the AI.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that control is freaking hard. Like there is a lot of shit in a chat, like a lot. And now I can, yes, Polish John, I know you hate that. There's a little line. He's been nagging me about, you got to fix that little line, man. Yeah. It's like, okay, right. We'll get there. But so a little bit of polish, but now I've got this whole control suite. It's all polished, almost all polished. And I could take that and I apply it to the apps that I am writing, right? So I've got a few apps that I'm writing on my own. I put these in, right? And I'm able to pull it together without AI going, now I need a chat component. And then it takes 6 hours to go and build that. Yeah. And then I got to refine that, right? So libraries and ideas around those libraries, I still think have a ton of value.
Oh yeah. So they're the Lego blocks that help. And like, not even just the time and having to, wait or redo it or reprompt it. It's now also cost, right? So now you've built these things, and now the next time you need to assemble them, you're not incurring that token cost.
And so the thing is now you end up with all these libraries that you can just go and pull out of the toolbox, put together and go. So, I mean, DocumentDB, there's another one. I started with SQLite. It was an idea, and now it supports pretty much every database that I can think of right now. So, you keep building out these things. Do I know how all of it works? No, I will be perfectly honest. Some of it's a little bit expensive, but I also did a lot of work on NHibernate like 20 some odd years ago. So I know how ORMs work. I know the abstractions it's got to build. I could build it on my own. I could. It would take months and months and months and months, and it would have lots of bugs. And now I'm able to just kind of extrapolate and have AI write the exact surfaces that I want and go, right? So I know a lot of people are upset, hey, we're not coding, but we were never hired to build code. We were hired to build solutions and build them cost effectively.
Yeah, the code was just a byproduct of getting to that result.
Right. So now we're talking about, we're building solutions, but we're building them small. So libraries, like I said, we don't need to go and build, like DocumentDB, for example, is probably well into the 2 million tokens range, right? That's a pretty high cost. So now I can take that thing and not worry about it. It just works. And yeah, there was a bug. John got on my case. Yeah, but that's a bug.
But that's
fixed
process,
in 5
right?
minutes.
Yeah,
right.
And so now, like, that's what I find too is you build the things, the parts, and then as you use them in more places, you're gonna find more bugs, and then you fix them easily again, and then that kind of just keeps the evolution of that thing going.
So, we're not writing code. Start finding purpose in building the solutions. And like I said, you'll still get in there sometimes. I still threaten it, like you put a continue, or this code looks like ass. What the hell? This a lot of times AI will build like friggin' 500 lines of code in one method. I'll give it shit about that, right? there's still parts where you can get in. I still find some value in it. I still review the code. Some of it I don't understand. I don't need to, right? I make sure that there's test coverage on it, etc.
Yep.
I enjoy building the solutions and then putting the solutions together. And that's where I'm finding value these days. And that's how I'm finding ways to just move forward at incredible speeds. The other thing you don't need to buy into is all the hype, people writing like with 500 agents and they're producing all of this software. I'll ask you one thing. Don't buy into everything you read on LinkedIn, because where is that software? I call bullshit on it, right? That we're very good at hyping up stuff and being full of shit about it. If people are doing that kind of stuff, they're full of crap, right? Or we'd see all these apps out there. We don't. There is no doubt that AI will accelerate. There is no doubt our business is changing, but I do not think we're going out of business. Companies just need to realize, hey, if we kept the same people we had before, they can write at 10 times the speed now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a kind of the interesting shift, right? Like everyone's in like cost reduction mode with it now. But I think at some point there will also be what's the production addition that we get out of it, right? So like what's the growth we get from it, rather than reducing people, keep the people, spend the AI, and how much can we grow the business and revenue as a result of that?
And that's the thing. Companies usually are always big on moving faster, right? They're reducing costs right now because a lot of them were stupid, Microsoft included, overhired.
It's the climate, and I think it's just a matter of the pendulum swinging back, right?
So be patient, guys. Stick with it. I get the anxiety behind it. God knows I suffer from it too, but I see more.
Yeah, it is still always a little bit like, at the end of the day, you can stop and think like, what is my job now, right? Like, what do I do now?
Solution building.
Well, and yes, that's it. But even that, still, it's like, I don't know. There's some points where it's just like, is that really is writing prompts like, not that I don't like it or anything. It's more the like, is that really what this is actually transformed into? It's almost like an unbelief, a disbelief of the situation. But yeah, that is what we do now, right?
But a lot of things too, like people talking about being disposable software in the future, I think that's another fraud, because again, AI is getting more expensive, right? We just talked about libraries. The other thing I'll remind people is that if you take like people like my mom or John's parents, right? They're not going to go, they're not even going to figure out how to get AI open, let alone build an app, right? Let alone fix the app, let alone deploy the app, right? Like these are things that still provide value and still need human equations involved. They keep saying AI is going to do it. It's not doing it. It's good at figuring out the problems. It's not good at figuring out how to do.
Yeah.
So hang in there, peeps. It's a good time. Write as much as you can while tokens are still, I don't want to say relatively cheap,
but
get the subscriptions and burn them as hard as you can to get as much Lego as you can. Hoard that Lego so that you can build when AI becomes possibly more expensive than businesses can afford. In which case, they already violated the model that they've been saying AI for everyone. So,
yeah, and the shift will be more to knowing what value you can provide from the cost that you incur of that AI, right? And so the more you keep learning, the more you keep figuring out how to refine that value that you get out of it, the better off you're going to be, right? It's and at the end of the day, like if positions are shrinking, if companies are still in the mode of pulling back on people, be the person that knows how to leverage the AI stuff, and you're not going to be one of those people. Like that's what I tell everybody outside of just the tech industry, especially, right? It's like, I hear a lot of people like, oh, Copilot, in my email sucked. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And that's their foundation of why AI is not something they should care about. And it's like, you're not looking at this properly.
Right.
Like, you need to be the one, if you're an accountant, you need to be the one that's going to figure out, how do I leverage AI to do the things that I'm doing beyond just the thing that's a sidebar in the application, right? Like I need to think deeply about this and be the one to use it. I talked to a local restaurant owner here that I know yesterday, and was talking to him about the same thing too. And it's like, how you got to start looking beyond the just asking it questions about your business and start figuring out how you integrate data sources and, build skills around how do I manage my inventory? How can I optimize this? Where's the data I need to come from? How do I start doing that? Right. And those are going to be the cases of the people that kind of stay ahead of any of the loss of jobs and stuff kind of thing. Right.
I mean, there's so many, just in that one statement that you just made, the ideas that went nuts in my head in that 5 seconds. I was like, man, imagine you could pull from reviews and people say there's no spice, and it goes, this dish that they're complaining about, there's not enough spice. Buy these spices, put it in. And like, it can be extrapolating all that and just giving you a daily update. Like there's so many crazy things. I mean, hell, I'm almost going to go write that app.
Yeah. Well, that's when I was talking to him
IP.
too.
Stop.
Well, no, because he even like, and I'm sure like some of the software systems out there that restaurants use are going to do this or doing this already. But it's like, he was talking even about, okay, well, you do like your weekly ordering or whatever, right? And you look at your sales and inventory, and it's like the value is one, just taking a process that you did manually and not having to spend the time to do it manually, even if you arrived at the same result. But the reality is, you not only can do that improvement of not spending hours to do something manually and it now does it in a few minutes, you can also start to optimize that and find patterns and trends automatically. And these are also things that people could have done kind of manually, kind of like, traditional, maybe even like data kind of warehousey stuff. But you don't have to, it's not hard to do that anymore if you just know how to orchestrate it.
Yeah.
So you could start finding those patterns and be like, oh, listen, we always over order on this thing. We're just going to order less of it next time because we assume that we're, going to order this much and we never end up using it.
Yep. I mean, it's fantastic. The things that you can do. That's, again, assuming AI survives all of the craziness that is, and costs stay affordable for everybody. It have your aha moment and realize like this stuff is awesome. It does produce slop, but anything will if you're not paying attention to really what it should be doing.
Yeah.
And like just in that 5 minutes, that we've been talking about this, we now have all of this. Yeah, I got to fix my environment. By the way, John, don't install Xcode 27 on your machine. It just breaks everything. So
I didn't have a problem with it.
Well, of course you didn't. I do. Fix my machine. Anyhow, we now have our Sherpa UI. Let's run it. Let's, run
Let's see what it does.
The Sherpa UI so we can see this. Use the macOS AppKit version. Did you get rid of Catalyst, by the way?
No. It's yes in some ways, but I think like the TFM is still in the code, which we should just get rid of.
Yeah, we should, because it always assumes I want to run the Catalyst version. No, want me to commit this on the bundle. Write these findings to our spec for future knowledge. So I like to tell it all these stuff all the things that it was like, oh, here's some caveats and catches that we found. Mm-hmm. Those will be gone. So I often tell it, write it back to the spec so that we know.
Yeah.
Just so it generally will figure that stuff out again, but there's your token burn. So say, remember this crap next time.
Yeah.
So I would like to finish on this episode showing that we have this thing now. We'll see if it figures it out. If not, we have a good starting point for me to push a branch up and go from there. It did a whole whack of changes. Look at all this. Look at all this. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
This is our spec, which John and I wrote this. This is us brainstorming. This is it writing the schema. This is pretty easy to do, right? But it wrote up the JSON schema that we had talked about. It wrote up an actual spec based on, to-dos that we put in and all the stuff we talked about, as well as all the discoveries. Like, it's put in no limitations.
Here's the
Bit
stuff
of discovery.
that's a problem.
So again, we're solutioning. I think this will be helpful in the end because Sherpa will again be the source of truth and make CI locally testable to a degree and deploy nicer. And we've even talked about making these shareable. I don't know what that looks like yet, but we're getting there.
What's a file too, right? Import, export, and
yeah, I don't know how it works. Maybe we'll see. I mean, the idea could be I share this with John, and now he's got access to my dev portfolio for like maybe I say export this environment or whatever. Who knows? But that's where we're going. Is this going to run? Come on,
it keeps finding like, well, we got a problem with this.
Just run. What are you doing? Oh, see, you got reflection in there, John. Well, you got reflection.
Yeah.
You're not going AOT or what?
Not on
not on Sherpa.
Yeah, not on a desktop app. No thanks.
John's been going like on my case. He's like, "Is this AOT?" You
got
me.
The building blocks need to be AOT, right?
I am obsessed with AOT. You created a monster.
Yeah, no, that's the direction we need to go, because as people start looking at that as a possibility for their apps in the future, it's going to be like, what libraries am I using that are not going to work for me for this? And then they'll have to figure it out.
I am AOT everything now. Every single thing I have is AOT now. All right. I think this is probably going to just spin for a little while.
It's going to launch as soon as we end.
I know that's what happens every single time, but I will say this spent about, it's already spent 12,000 tokens just figuring out how to launch.
Yeah.
$3 to launch your app. Thanks.
Yeah.
It spent 18 minutes. Of course, they get rid of the token burn, but I thought I saw it at about 50,000 tokens to build this, which again, I gave it a pretty raw prompt, but we had a decent spec.
Yeah.
The CLI was, how long did it take to build this? 19 minutes. So it was this one was probably higher, to be honest. So, let's say 100,000 tokens by the time we're done. I don't know how much, John. Do you know the magic?
I don't know for Claude. No.
Okay, so
because Copilot doesn't do it as tokens; it does it as like AI credits, which is some different calculation.
So, point is, this is a big thing to deliver. These aren't going to be free in the future. Build your stuff now so that you've got all this massive tool belt to focus on end results later. Yeah. It's beautiful. I see our path as developers, John.
Oh no,
engineers.
And then in this particular case, we'll keep working through it.
For
the next few weeks.
And then I'm going to post. This is actually going to go up in a branch. I'm going to update our specs in our story, which we have. And I put all these links on the website, in the GitHub for Sherpa. We haven't gotten any feedback yet, but that's all right. I think this is like, once you build it, they say if you build it, don't necessarily assume they'll come. But every time something like this seems to drop, they come. Like John, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is this will be useful when it's fully realized. I think people will then start to see like, oh, I get it. This will make my life easier, because it's still one of the big areas that people seem to have trouble with MAUI stuff, and I'm sure with not MAUI too, right? Like, it's how do I configure this all? Yeah.
And to be fair, John's been told if he breaks publishing profiles, I'm going to nag at him nonstop, because I have like 40 or 50 of them.
So you'll have to test my branch out anyway and make sure that it doesn't break you. But it shouldn't. It's not. My change didn't really hit, I think, publishing profiles as much as the secrets.
Just the
stuff.
Secrets.
But I have just adding like folders and stuff to that.
I have it backed up so I can delete and revert if I have to.
Yeah.
But don't screw up my publishing profiles, John.
Try not to. You can always probably use the backup you have and like have AI like fix it up too, right? Like here's the thing.
Undo John's junk and restore my publishing profiles.
Well, not even undo. Just be like, just go put these back and fix it so it works with whatever's there now.
And no, it has not figured out how it's going to launch yet. So I haven't ended the stream yet. So there's going to be a large commit for this. It is a good starting point. Our CLI is mostly done. Our
we'll have to go see
UI
how
is
it
mostly
did and what it's doing, and
done-ish.
make sure that we're happy with the results, and see if we have to massage it a bit. But
Yep.
we'll get there. All right. Well, we'll continue on next week, but for now, I think that is a good stopping point. So see you all next time on Gone.net.
Thanks, everybody.